love me, please don't judge me. Got my hands tied, the power's above me. Don't shoot the messenger, I'm just a puppet here. If you wanna place blame, then look to the puppeteer. Family, fortune, envy, jealousy, privilege, passed on, legacy, secret, sabotage, borderline, felony, suicide, subtract, selfish, pedigree, yeah.
So yeah, this weekend Phoenix happened, and quite a bit happened at Phoenix this weekend. But I'll just say this for the Cup race. The Cup race confirmed a couple things for me. One, Phoenix should not have 2 fucking dates. And 2, this track should not be hosting the championship race. Because that race was kind of boring. It's like, seriously, this race is hosting the fucking championship? Good God, why the fuck did they leave Homestead to begin with? Like, let's be honest, NASCAR taking the season finale away from Homestead was a massive mistake. Like, honestly, I can name a few tracks that would be a better suitable choice than Phoenix for the finale. Let's see. Homestead, Bristol, North Wilkesboro, Las Vegas. What else? Rockingham, Nashville Superspeedway or Fairgrounds, one of the two. Like, I would gladly take any of those 7 tracks for the finale over fucking Phoenix. But before we talk about Phoenix and the Cup race this Sunday, we got a couple other Phoenix races we got to talk about. And for anyone wondering, this is actually a Kyle Larson pitch shirt, not a William Byron one, because I don't got a Byron Valvoline pitch shirt. Like, out of all the Valvoline pitch shirts I have, this Kyle Larson one is like one of the only ones I have, so I had to improvise on the fly. But yeah, let's talk about the other races that happened at Phoenix this weekend.
I'm calling both games!
So yeah, we had an ARCA race this weekend at Phoenix, and it was a joint race, as this race also served as the season opener for ARCA West this weekend. So it was one of the big fields for ARCA. Like, to be perfectly honest, I could see NASCAR disbanding and discontinuing ARCA and ARCA East and ARCA West and just merging it all into one. Because it's the only way ARCA actually has fucking big field counts for races, when you fucking have a joint race with ARCA East or ARCA West. But yeah, let's be honest, for ARCA, this race kind of was a shit show. It was a massive downgrade from what we had at Daytona, because, yeah, remember how good Daytona was for ARCA? How great of a race that was, because that Daytona race for ARCA was the only Daytona race during Daytona Speed Week that wasn't a complete shit show. It actually finished on the green. Yep, this week, ARCA dick punched the fan base right back to reality. It was a fucking shit show race. Like, so many fucking incidents. Like, Jesse Love, it looked like he had a shot to win, and then he got wrecked. Well, Jesse Love, he easily should be the championship leader right now. Easily should be the favorite for the title. And so far in 2 races, Jesse Love has found every single conceivable way to shoot himself in the foot. I don't know, is this karma for Jesse Love after he got salty over how Sammy Smith raced him at Toledo last year? And then trying to fight Sammy Smith while his helmet is still on, and punch him while he's still in the car. Is this the racing gods dishing out karma to Jesse Love? You be the judge of that. But yeah, and also William Salwich, he looked like he had a dominant car, was going to win, and then it completely collapsed on him. Damn, he actually had a solid run going and probably should have won this race. Unfortunate for him. Also, send your prayers to D.L. Wilson, because he also suffered a bad crash late in the race. A crash that saw him suffer 3 broken ribs, a concussion, and a bruised heart. But he's expected to make a full recovery. Oh, damn, we haven't had a scary ARCA crash like that in a while. Fuck. That's fucking brutal. Like, that's not good. So, driver safety is compromised again, and this is with the old Net Cup Gen 6 body. So, that's not good. But in the end, late in the race, it looked like Greg Van Olst would also have a chance to go 2 for 2. And then he completely collapsed as well. For his collapse, though, I think it might have something to do, though, with his sponsor, Kamikaze Games. Because, oh yeah, Kamikaze Games was sponsoring Greg Van Olst's car for this weekend. And Greg, I'm just going to give you a cautionary tale. Be careful of having Kamikaze Games as a sponsor, because anyone remember the last time Kamikaze Games sponsored a driver in NASCAR? It ended up being Corbin Forrester. And oh yeah, how did that end? Well, Corbin Forrester ended up being a sick degenerate that liked underage girls. That's all you need to know there. But in the end, through all the race drama, one driver would survive the chaos, and it would be 15-year-old Tyler Reif. As Tyler would somehow survive it all, and Tyler Reif would get his first career ARCA win, and he wins the ARCA race in Phoenix at 5th. So yeah, congrats to Tyler Reif. He is officially a winner in ARCA. And yeah, Tyler Reif, he's also running for both the ARCA West and the ARCA East championships. So he's already set himself up well early to have a good run at winning both championships this year. Can he do it this year? We'll have to see. I mean, could he possibly win both the ARCA East and the ARCA West titles in the same year? Well, you'll have to tune in to find out. But he's off to a good start so far. Especially with ARCA West with Jake Drew now out of the picture this year. So, yeah. But yeah, Tyler Reif, this kid has some talent. I'll have to watch out for him this year. I don't know if he will sweep both titles. I think he'll probably win one of the championships, so he'll fall short in the other one. Because no one in ARCA has ever won both the ARCA East and the ARCA West titles in the same year. Like, I believe the closest someone came to winning both titles was Todd Gilliland in 2017, I believe. When Gilliland won the ARCA West title, but just fell short in the ARCA East championship. You know, I'm not going to roll it out entirely, but you'll have an uphill battle. But could the 15-year-old make history? Because he won't be able to run much of the ARCA schedule, especially the ones at tracks 1.25 miles, because you can't race that track higher than 1.2 miles if you're under the age of 18, unless it's a road course. But yeah, Tyler Reif, look out for him in ARCA East and ARCA West this year. Now on to Xfinity. At Xfinity, well, there's one conclusion I've come to Xfinity now. Kyle Busch's leaching powers aren't as powerful as we all thought it was when Kyle Busch is not in the JGR car. When he's not in the JGR leach car, Kyle Busch is super powerful. But with a Kaulig leach car, he ain't that powerful. He's had no speed so far this year in the 10 car, because let's be honest, the 10 leach car for Kaulig, it ain't the same damn thing as the leach car for Joe Gibbs Racing. Like, Kyle Busch mainly just had top 5, top 10 speed, and that's about it. He didn't have race-winning speed at all. Like, there were a lot of, this is easily the best race of the weekend, though, for Phoenix action. As this Xfinity race is actually pretty good. You had a lot of comers and goers, you know, from Austin Hill to Sammy Smith, even Allgaier up there at one point, even Allgaier winning both stages, like, there are a lot of comers and goers. Like, Allgaier had a fast car winning both stages, and then he ended up in a late race wreck. Because, of course, he did, because Allgaier has bad luck. Because when it looks like Allgaier has a good run going, we then remember, this is Justin Allgaier. No nice things can happen to him. Damn. And in the end, this ended up being a duel between Sammy Smith and if he can hold off his teammate Ryan Truex. And in the end, the racing gods decided it would not be Truex's day. As Sammy Smith would come through in the clutch late, and Sammy Smith would get the win in Phoenix. So, Sammy Smith gets his first career Xfinity win. So, Sammy Smith is officially a winner in the Xfinity Series. And now Sammy Smith, he puts himself in a solid position maybe later in the year to potentially lock himself in the chase. We'll find out his fate this summer to see if he can lock up one of the spots. Since with Austin Hill locking himself in the chase last week with the win at Vegas, we still have 11 spots still up for grabs in the Xfinity chase. But yeah, Sammy, I mean, it's not really too surprising that Sammy Smith won in Phoenix, because Sammy Smith has a few ARCA wins here. But yeah, and also, Kyle Busch, though, he also had a weird incident in the last lap. Because Kyle Busch, he was battling Chandler Smith for third, his teammate. And then in turn 2, Kyle Busch would get loose underneath Chandler Smith and then would smack the wall, and he would plummet all the way to 9th. And then during all that, Sheldon Creed would somehow, after Sheldon Creed had some bad luck early on in the race getting a flat tire, Creed actually came all the way back to finish third. Man, if only Sheldon Creed actually had good luck. He could probably have won a race or two by now. But it looks like Creed might be slowly becoming the new Allgaier, where nothing nice can ever happen to him. Like other than his comeback today from Xfinity, what does Creed have to do to catch a fucking break? God damn. But yeah, congrats to Sammy Smith. He finally gets his first career Xfinity win. And yeah, it was just a pretty interesting race at Phoenix. Easily the best race of the weekend, not gonna lie. I'm gonna be perfectly honest for the Cup race today. The Cup race was fucking boring as shit. There were times in this race I almost fell asleep to HMS domination. To be perfectly honest, as an HMS fan, that's probably the best sight to have, is falling asleep at your team dominating the fucking field. Like, literally, the entire, first 260 laps of this race, it was the HMS show from start to finish. Like, William Byron dominated stage 1. And then after stage 1, Kyle Larson started flexing his muscles on the field and just dominated right after that. Like, literally, through the first 2 stages, the only on-track incident was a weird Eric Almirola tire failure, where after the tire failed, he would end up having the wheel fall off. Because Almirola, the wheel didn't come off the car until he hit the wall, so it looks like the tires snapped right off the car. But unfortunately, NASCAR treats it the same way as a loose lug nut policy, to where if the wheel falls off the car, regardless if the lug nut was secure or not, or if the wheel snapped right off, you still get penalized 2 laps for it. Beep. So yeah, Almirola's day was already done right there on the spot. But Larson would continue to dominate. But then stage 3, we would have an inevitable at Phoenix. Kevin Harvick. Like, it's honestly no surprise that Kevin Harvick was up near the front for Phoenix, because Phoenix is literally his best track. Don't let his age fool you. Harvick is goddamn inevitable at Phoenix, and he really showed it in the final run, because literally 10, 15 laps into the final run, he was able to run Kyle Larson down. Like, he was the only car that could beat the HMS duo of Larson and Byron today. And he actually got the lead from Larson. I believe Larson getting passed by Harvick, that was the only legit green flag pass for the lead in this entire race. That didn't happen on a restart. And then Harvick was able to pull away from Larson. In the late stages of the race, it looked like Harvick was going to finally get his 10th win at Phoenix, and join the elite list of drivers that have won at least 10 races at a track. Of course, that list of drivers that have won at least 10 or more races at one track, that list consists of guys like Richard Petty, who's won at least has double-digit wins at least 5 different tracks. You also had Darrell Waltrip with his 12 at Bristol and his 11 at Martinsville. Then you had Dale Earnhardt with his 10 at Talladega. You also had David Pearson with his 10 at Darlington. And then Jimmy Johnson, of course, with his 11 wins at Dover. So yeah, that's actually a really elite list of company to be with. But in the end, the racing gods decided that Harvick would not be joining that list. As with 11 to go, we will get the turning point of the race when Harrison Burton would lose a tire and spin out. And it's funny how everyone's getting mad at Harrison Burton and saying that wasn't a caution. Yeah, because Harrison Burton blowing a tire was Harrison losing all talent. Let's see you all drive with a fucking blown tire, you jackasses. And yeah, Burton's car spitting debris everywhere on the track, including the fender. Yeah, definitely not worthy of a caution. Like, it was a legit fucking caution. Back the fuck off. It's not like last week when Almirola barely touched the wall. So then we will get a final round of pit stops, and then Harvick's crew would make the mistake of taking 4 tires, while the top 6 ahead of him took 2 tires, including Larson and Byron. And keep note here, last week Larson and Byron took 2 tires last week, along with Bowman. And last week it resulted in HMS 1-2-3 podium sweep. Bowman did not take the 2, though he only took 4 and ended up deeper in the field. But Larson and Byron did it, so HMS, they did the same call last week. And they're going to do it again, hoping that history repeats itself. And at Larson, he would initially get away on the restart with 3 to go. And then the Cup race became a bit of a shit show. Because on that restart, AJ Allmendinger would spin out and collect Noah Gragson and Ty Gibbs in a crash. So yeah, on a restart, the big 3 from Xfinity last year would all get taken out in one wreck. Which meant that the race goes to overtime. And also with the Allmendinger crash, it's drivers forgetting how to drive with respect near the end of a race. And then the post-race, they'll all act like fucking angels that do no wrong. Like the fucking hypocrites they all are. So in the end, the Cup race would go to overtime. And then on overtime, Larson would get a good initial launch, but Byron would stay side by side with him. And then we would get 3 wide for second in the back with Reddick and Blaney coming up in the mix. But while that all happened, Byron was able to take advantage of that and pull away. And then William Byron would go on, and Byron would get his second win of the season and his first ever win at Phoenix. And Byron gets the win at Phoenix in overtime in the clutch. So Byron gets his second win of the season. And for the first time in William Byron's Cup Series career, this is the first time in Byron's Cup career that he has won back-to-back races. Of course, it's also the first time since his Xfinity days that Byron's won back-to-back races. So yeah, William Byron comes in clutch and gets the win, and Blaney finishes second. Oh, you all thought Blaney was going to win this race because of what Kyle Petty said to him? No. This ain't how it works. No. No, Blaney ain't gonna fucking prove Kyle Petty wrong. Like, it's also funny how everyone got mad at Kyle Petty this week. Because he literally said the truth about Blaney. And the fans didn't want to fucking hear it because it doesn't fit the fan base's narrative. Because Kyle Petty isn't wrong about him. Like, to be perfectly honest, though, I don't agree 100% with the Casey Kane comparison because Casey Kane is better than Blaney. Like, you all have proof about it. Look at both their histories in races where they lead over 100 plus laps in. Because Casey Kane's record in races he leads 100 plus laps in is 5-9. Casey Kane at least can complete a race and come in clutch in races he dominates. What's Ryan Blaney's record in races where he's led 100 plus laps in, you may ask? 0-11. He has not won a single racing cup where he's led over 100 plus laps in. Like, I fucking get it if it happens every once in a while, shit happens out of your control. But when it happens every single goddamn time, that's usually the signs of a bad driver. Like, Blaney is easily overrated. And Kyle Petty isn't wrong. It's funny to watch people get mad at Kyle Petty telling the fucking truth to everybody. Because they just don't want to hear it. Because it didn't fit their narrative. Like, the only comparison you can make for Blaney and Casey Kane is that both of them were the sexiest drivers in the garage during their time. But of course, we should not take the spotlight away from Byron because of Blaney being proven right by Kyle Petty. Yeah, you can cry about Kyle Petty being right all you want, what Kyle Petty said all you want. In the end, he was right this weekend. Because Blaney had a chance to come in clutch and prove him wrong, and Blaney failed to take advantage of it. Because in the end, only a brick wall could stop Blaney. Its name was Hendrick Motorsports. So yeah, Byron gets the win as well. And with William Byron getting 2 wins this year, and because of the top 30 rule no longer being a thing in the Cup Series, William Byron has officially become the first driver in the Cup Series this year to officially punch his ticket into the Cup Series chase this year. So William Byron is competing for a championship this fall. Like, let's be honest here. NASCAR getting rid of the top 30 rule was a fucking stupid call. Because now we have our first driver locked into the chase in fucking March. With 6 months left until the regular season, until the chase begins. Like, seriously. Who thought NASCAR getting rid of the top 30 rule was a good idea? That was a fucking terrible idea going all in on the win in your in stipulation. Because now the rest of William Byron's season doesn't fucking mean anything for the next 22 races. Like, the next 22 races for Byron mean absolutely fucking nothing. Like, it's just effectively going to be test and tune sessions. But there's one thing I've seen from Byron this year. That 24 car has speed. Now, the $1 million question for Byron is, will he actually be fucking consistent this year? Or is it going to be a rerun of last year where he had the speed but not the consistency? Well, will Byron have the consistency this year, or is it a rerun of last year where he got 2 wins early in the year and then he was inconsistent the rest of the way? Well, tune in this year to find out. But yeah, and I know everyone talked about solutions for the chase, saying, oh, we should have it be a top 20 rule, or we should just make it a top 16 in points and get rid of the winning year in stipulation for chase qualifying. I have a better idea for the chase. How about we just get rid of the fucking thing and go back to a season-long points format? That's a simple and easier solution than what everyone else is proposing. Just get rid of the chase and go back to a season-long points. That's the easier solution here. But that's a solution that probably won't happen because that requires too much common sense. And common sense is pretty non-existent today. But yeah, you know, also a big heartbreak to Harvick because Harvick had this race in the bag until Harrison Burton lost his tire. You know, tough break for him, you know. Yeah, but yeah, maybe Harvick Harvick maybe could fuck around in November and possibly win at Phoenix in his last start. It's very possible that could happen. And Harvick could get a ride off to the sunset in a way. But yeah, in this race, though, at least all 4 HMS cars finished in the top 10, including Josh Berry subbing for Chase Elliott. And honestly, that's really good speed out of that 9 car. Because that 9 car, let's be honest, they're treating that 9 car like a test and tune car until Chase Elliott comes back. But I'll just say this here. When Chase Elliott comes back, if Chase Elliott can find a way into the Final Four this year, I think that car has enough fucking speed to where Chase Elliott, he could potentially pull a Kyle Busch 2015 and back his way into the championship. After missing a number of races with a leg injury. I mean, there's a very strong possibility I think Chase Elliott could pull a Busch 2015. And then all the Kyle Busch haters can be on the other end of what happened in 2015, and they can all learn what the Kyle Busch fans had to go through that offseason. When everyone called Kyle Busch a Mickey Mouse champion. But in the end, it all balanced out, though, because Kyle Busch would have 2 championships under a season-long points format anyway, so it all balanced out. Just swap like 2015 and 2019 with 2016 and 2018, and it balances right out. But yeah, and also Larson might be the car to beat though this year, because that 5 car has had speed every week outside Daytona. Sadly, it's not going to have too much speed next week, since next week is Atlanta. And also for the tracks I listed, that would be better choices for season finales over Phoenix. I would have thrown Atlanta in the mix there too. There's one problem with Atlanta. NASCAR and SMI fucked that track up beyond repair. Because now it's a fucking demo derby super speedway for entertainment purposes. God help me next week. And F1's probably not going to be too much better, since F1's going to be in that shithole country in Saudi Arabia to go chase that Saudi Arabian blood money. God help us all next week. But yeah, before I wrap this review up, Byron got the win. Win 293 for HMS. 7 more till 300. But anyway, though, I'm out.